I have an investor I'm sourcing for. However, I'm worried about the legitimacy of the funds/capital. I've asked them for proof of funds. However, they always respond that they can only send a picture of cash. They said the money, when questioned about it, they said that the money was inheritance that they did not wish to be taxed on. What should I do?
Okay, I'm so confused because it might be inheritance that they don't wish to be taxed on.
How do they get their inheritance? First of all, because to claim inheritance, like, you have to go through that whole process, that legal process,
but it could just be
shared with you.
Or maybe they're just calling it inheritance, but it was just passed down to them.
How did they pass
But this is what I'm saying, because it's like that money has to be in cash form for a while, but then to pass it down.
It's possible, just maybe in briefcase in grandma's room. Who knows?
Maybe granddad used to save his money under the mattress.
Yes.
Shoe boxes.
Yes.
Either way, that money is unaccounted for. And to see how we're guessing here, we need to know. As a deal source, you need to know where that is part of, what do you call it? KYC, know your client. You need to know where your client has got money from. You don't need to know everything about them, but you need to understand that the funds that they are bringing to you are legit funds. And if you can only do cash for whatever reason, I think there's this extreme circumstances where that's fine, but then most of the time it's like, no, it needs to come from somewhere.
And it needs to go in the bank.
It needs to go through the bank. And
like, why can't you show it? Because if you're trying to get properties or you're trying to acquire more properties, the obvious thing is that you're going to have to put that money in a bank.
Yeah.
So you telling me that you can't get it into a bank, or that it's just cash on the, like, it doesn't, come on.
Yeah.
If you want to get into the property space and be able to, I don't know, purchase things or, invest your money somewhere, I can't be like, I need 10k for an SA.
Yeah.
And you can't count me out like, yep.
But this is
£10, £20, £30 in cash,
and
then finally get me to 10k. Like, you're gonna have to put it in a bank to transfer. I can't take that by cash.
Yeah.
Well, I can, but don't expect me to give it back because it's unaccounted for.
But this is the thing though, because
I'm joking.
In it for real, don't get us cancelled.
I'm joking.
But it also boils down to, obviously we've got an anti-money laundering license.
Oh.
So we have a duty to, if we even suspect.
Is that what
you said it. You said it. We have a duty to say, listen, if something's off, if that money's got wrong aura, off aura, we have to tell the whoever, was it HMRC or whatever.
HMRC?
Yeah, we have to tell them.
No, I'll never tell HMRC.
Oh, well.
HMRC have not done anything.
Well, who else are you going to tell? That's who you get the license from.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you can't assume, but I think what I would probably do is give them detailed instructions on what you need from them in order for them to be a viable investor for you. So that would look like step 1. Have you registered a company? Okay, great. Step 2, you see that cash tucked underneath the back of your headboard, so that if the police come and do a search, they can't find that cash. If you could just transfer into that bank account so that I can see proof of funds through a bank,
and that bank account has to have
your name on it. Yeah,
it can't come from no one else's name. It can't come from your twin,
your
uncle,
your next door neighbor,
your dog,
someone you paid down the road to do.
None
of that. It needs to be in your account, in your name. And I think just give them a list of things that you need to checklist them as a viable investor. A lot of people make the mistake of thinking that just because an investor wants to buy from you, that's all you need. No, mate, because there's so many investors out there who think they know what they want and end up wasting your time. You're going on hours of searches for them, providing them properties and criteria that they're looking for. You present them with that and they say, sorry, not the right time. Sorry, don't have the right funds.
Yeah.
So I think what it comes down to with this one is just qualifying them in a way that you would do any other person, not in a way that's offensive, because you can't assume. I mean, I'm definitely judging, but you can't assume, and you've got to give them the benefit of the doubt that actually it may just be inheritance that Grandma Jackie gave to them back in the 1970s when it might have been difficult for them to get a bank account.
But the thing is, that's fine, but prove it.
I don't know.
But prove it.
No, don't.
No, you have to prove it.
Just qualify them. just
no,
don't get, because someone's going to get you beaten up by the team leader of the gang.
Because if you can't prove it, I'm sorry, we have no business.
Yeah, I think that is the point, which is what with the professional way to qualify them. Make sure that you qualify them. Don't go to them and say, prove it. Don't say Sean said prove it. You will get yourself knocked out. So, yeah. I think
attitude, prove it.
Yeah. Literally. But yeah, I think just qualify them. It sounds like you are in a bit of a sticky situation. It sounds like you're unable. I always go with gut feeling, but it sounds like you're unable to verify the legality of the money and the funds. So I would just say, get down to the basics and ask them for your qualifying details, which would be things like proof of funds through a bank account with your name on it, ID, your company name and your company number, how long it's been running for, maybe even an email that details how they received these funds, just so that you can cover yourself and be like, well, this is what they've said to me. I had no idea that it had to do with anything else. If it does show up, that it's something else. And just, really being concise with your due diligence on that person as well. I think just don't get in. I always a big believer of don't say something is happening if you don't have the evidence. You don't have the evidence right now, so you're just going to have to take their word for it.
But then at the same time, though, because if you don't ask these awkward questions now, what's going to happen is that you're going to go for a deal, and then especially if you're doing like referencing or going through a guarantor or anything like that, it's those questions are going to come up.
That's part of qualifying, isn't it?
Yeah,
so you
but
don't
this
have
is
to
what I'm
ask them
saying,
awkward questions like, oh, is it real? Like, where did your money come from? No, you think you can, but genuinely, if someone is not willing to tell you where the money came from, they're not going to tell you the truth. So the only way to go around that is if you ask them the questions that you need to feel satisfied. And if they can't answer those 10 out of 10 questions, then you have a problem and you can't work with them. If they can answer them 10 out of 10 questions, you've done your due diligence enough so to feel confident that it can move forward.
Yeah.
I personally wouldn't work with them, because if I have a gut feeling that something isn't right, I personally wouldn't. That's not to say that, listen, so many people wash their money through so many different avenues. Doesn't mean they haven't had successful businesses and blah, 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 and this and that and the other. It's not about the money necessarily being illegal. No matter how righteous you want to be, everyone gets their money some way, in some shape or form.
Yeah.
You have the same in your account that somebody else has, and they made it a completely different way to you did. Yeah. So there's no righteousness about it. It's just the fact that within your business, you have to be careful to uphold your own company. And in doing that, you've got to qualify people and make sure that they hit your standard. If they don't hit your standard, they got to go. If they do hit your standard, then great, I can work with you. And I want you to understand my terms and conditions. You've got to sign this. I've got to sign this. I feel reassured. You feel happy to move forward. And we leave it at that.
100%.
But I feel like don't ask necessarily, because it's coming from passion, because we've had this experience also. I feel like we've experienced everything in the property world at this stage.
Yeah.
But we've had this experience
100%,
and we made mistakes of not asking the difficult questions. And Sean's absolutely right. Ask the difficult questions. Ask them in a way that are not assumption based, not mean, not judgy, but literally straight to the point, direct, and focuses solely on moving forward as a business.
And the thing is, even if they do feel, even if they do feel judgy as well, you just have to kind of come from the angle of, listen, I'm asking these questions and they are tough questions, but this is only because I know the process that you have to go through, and they're going to ask these things.
Yeah.
The difference is if you aren't truthful with those questions, you may lose the deal, and
I keep your money.
And I keep your money. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's gonna kick them up the backside, kind of thinking, you know what, I'm
ready for this deal. I'm not ready for this deal.
Yeah, exactly.
I can do it. I can't do it. I can prove it. I can't prove it. But yeah, just do it delicately, but be very straight to the point, and just understand. Just because your money's legal don't make you better than anybody else. We all sin. We all do something that we shouldn't be doing.
Just ask for forgiveness.
Let's just ask for forgiveness and move forward and say amen. That's it. That's it. Just pray for the person. That's it. Cool.
But yes.